Welcome back to Discussion Combustion. This is episode 48, and we are very excited tonight. As most Wednesday nights, we are very excited. I've been feeling like this week has been going on forever, man. It feels like 14 days since we were in here last Wednesday.
Quick turnaround, man. Those 7 days fly by for sure.
They took forever for me.
Yeah, there's a lot going on in between.
There
47, the launch on the solo episode was tremendous. Appreciate all the support out there. You
Yeah,
guys
thank
listening,
you. Yeah.
tuning in on YouTube. Really, we've had some great support. You guys are the reason we come back here every Wednesday and have great guests. And, we got another one lined up for you tonight.
Yeah, James Lane is in the building. This man's done many things, a man of many hats, and I feel like he wears them the right way. He has a lot of good things to say. We've had a good conversation prior to hitting this record button. But before we hop into this wonderful episode, we got to pay the bills. Today's episode is brought to you by Wild Outdoor Adventures. That's WOAMEET.com.
That's right. Head on over to WOAMEET.com and sign up for free to get on board with all of the great activities coming up in Colorado this summer. There's going to be some great backpacking trips coming up. Kevin's doing a great job organizing all this. It's free to sign up, guys. Wild Outdoor Adventures is there to support you. It's more than an online outdoor activity community. It's designed to help teens, veterans, Colorado entrepreneurs, everybody and everybody.
Absolutely. And I like to always cover this because it's so true in my mind. This is a way for you to get outside, outdoors, get the positive endorphins hitting you from that nice nature hike with people of similar interests. Get yourself out from in front of the screen and go enjoy this beautiful state of Colorado. If you're just coming out here for a little bit, this is going to give you some things to do, some great activities. It's owned by a guy who has people's interests in mind, Kevin Fryer. He is here and he's doing Wild Outdoor Adventures and doing these entrepreneur things and Hope for Teens and veteran specific thing. All this because he cares about the people. So it's more than just, like you said, a place where you could go online and see where activities are happening. It's a place where people can join and feel the energy of great people who also want to experience similar things.
Yeah, it really gives people that just moved to Colorado or, people that have lived here a long time an opportunity to, meet people and experience the same things, maybe, exchange some ideas through their browser. You can go on there and chat with people on WOA, talk about some outdoor gear, talk about some trails that you want to hit. It really is a big online community that has a very large reach. And even if you don't live in Colorado, you can still be involved with WOA, always doing great things. You can find them on all social media platforms, WOAMEET.com. Go on over there, sign up, guys. Get on board with all these great projects coming up this summer. It's going to be a lot of fun. I know we're going to be going on a hike. That's going to be a lot of fun.
Hell yeah. So that's less dreaming.
And more exploring.
Absolutely. And we are also brought to you by Mountain Made CBD. To get all that crystal clear CBD products, you're going to want to go to mountainmade.life. That's mountainmade.life.
Mountainmade.life, guys. That's where you're going to stock up on all of your crystal clear CBD products, the build, the boost, the recover, and now the puff. Buy any one of those 3 bottles right there on the table and get yourself a puff for only $3.
Great
deal. That's a tremendous promotion. Mike's coming on next week, so we're definitely going to be diving in onto the puff and some of the expansions that Mountain Made has been doing. But in the meantime, stock it up, guys. Go over and check out some workout programs. Get your hashtag #GoLikeHell merchandise. Mountain Made, the clearest, the purest, the most affordable CBD on the market, shipping nationwide. If you're a dispensary or a CBD carrier from Bangor, Maine to San Diego, California, get Mountain Made on your shelf. Hit these guys up. They are stocked, locked, and ready to rock.
Yeah, they're set up with all the new regulations. A lot of people don't know what's going on with this whole CBD market. It's kind of a new thing. It's kind of like going in the Wild West. You can't trust all the companies out there. But guess what? We actually believe in what this guy's doing. We believe what they do at Mountain Made. And that's why we choose to support them and talk about them with so much enthusiasm. And we talk about them because we're genuine about the products that they're selling. And it's something that's powerful. I mean, I've mentioned this several times, but he's had opportunities to cut the cost on his product with different ingredients to save money, but he's kept those costs higher for himself because he wants better ingredients to better help the people that are in need of CBD, THC free. Go like hell.
Go like hell, guys, and get yourself the puff. The smokable CBD flower contains less than 0.003% THC. That's less than a non-alcoholic beer. It's practically THC-free as far as I'm concerned.
I would say
smokable CBD flower, guys, changing the game. They can't keep up with all these demands on the orders, so keep putting in those orders, and you're going to have great great pre-rolls coming your way.
Absolutely. Keep them busy. And also, we here at Discussion Combustion just had a couple quick announcements for us. We officially have discussioncombustion.com as a website for anyone to go on to. We have areas where you can see our sponsors on there. You can become a Patreon for us. Also, we have a discussion board. So if there's anything that you want to hear us talk about, or if there's anything that is just on your mind, hit up the discussion board. I might reply. Kevin might reply. Hey, don't turn an eye is what I'm saying. And also, teespring.com/DCPC. That's where you get all your DCPC merch.
Yep, we're launching the merchandise, guys. Get your T-shirts, your hoodies, your long sleeves available at teespring.com/DCPC. Go ahead and stock up on some great merch over there. DiscussionCombustion.com is going to be your easiest line to us. All the social media links there, YouTube links, everything is now through that portal. Head on over there, sign up, guys. Free to sign up on our website. Interact with us. Big thanks to Clint from episode 17 for setting that up for us. Tremendous work on his behalf, and we're excited to be partnered with him on that. So check it out, guys. We're also available on all social media platforms, as you know.
And that we got to get it out the way. We got to talk about people supporting us and the new things that we're doing. And we do have a new guest in the building tonight. Woo! We got James.
James, what's up, brother?
Hey, what's going on, guys? Feeling great to be here. This aesthetic feels like I'm in high school all over again.
Yeah.
Or just maybe right out of high school. Like the guitars, the fridge, the flag, just the posters. Everything about this feels like kind of just I don't know, just like a magical, nostalgic setting. Yeah, it's fun. This is a cool spot.
Hell yeah, man. Glad you're digging the studio. Yeah, I mean, the viewers can't really see much of it outside of what you just described to them. But yeah, we kind of have a laid back, a little bit of a man cave feel down here.
Yeah, if you guys did a live show, I would hope that you would bring everything in here with you. Just literally set it up as is, exactly the way it already is, like the empty beer bottles and the guitars and everything like that. I feel like all the guys would just show up. They're like, hell yeah, I've been missing this ever since I got married.
Yeah,
that's true.
It is, because it's a shared studio. I mean, as we were talking to you before we started up here, Ridge Runners play out of here, and they are looking for a solid drummer. So I mean, if you're in Colorado and you have the drumming skill, hit up Ridge Runners, man. They can use a talented drummer.
Yep.
Dude, in Denver, I mean, there is so many musicians out here. I was kind of talking to you guys a little bit before the show, and there is a festival out here called the Underground Music Showcase. And basically, the UMS is a festival that hosts over 200 musicians. More than half of those are locals. And there's a lot of drummers, and I feel like they would be interested in a second drummer. So all I'm saying, if you're looking by July, might want to check the UMS.
Okay, that's coming up July?
Yeah.
And when are the dates for that?
Typically late July.
Okay.
Yeah. So I played it in 2018, and the lineup was phenomenal. So they usually get about 20 to 30 actual famous musicians, bigger names, or names that are coming up as bigger names. And then the rest of them are kind of either locals or just surrounding areas. And I had the chance to release my last full-length album at the Underground Music Showcase 2018, and I saw so many great drummers, but also so many great musicians in general.
So you have a very unique artistic style. I went on to your SoundCloud and listening to it, I feel like you're a poet.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. So it's funny you say that, because I actually just released a new EP called Hookup Culture 2020 Part 1.
Is that the one that you sent to our messages?
I believe so. Yeah. And essentially what that album is about is just kind of the promiscuous sexual thriving culture in the city of Denver. And there was an article that came out by 303 magazine about a year ago, I think, and it said Denver is the worst city in America to find love, but one of the best cities in the U.S. for just dating and hookups. Okay. So I was going on lots of dates when I first moved back out here in July, and I had a lot of fun. It was a cool experience.
Are you looking for love, or?
When I first moved back out here, I was definitely not looking for love. But now as I get older, I just turned 30 in December.
Welcome to the club.
Yeah, thanks, man.
Hell yeah, brother.
I'm feeling I'm feeling like maybe it's time to find an actual stable girlfriend opposed to just kind of these casual hangout session.
Casual encounters.
Yeah, these
of the relationship kind.
Yeah, but I will say the thing about my EP is that it is a lot different than what I've ever done before. So typically I'm more of a indie punk thrash garage rock type of dude, and I just play my guitar, I have my pedals, I put on the distortion and the loop and get the sound rolling, and people are typically really into it because it's a very interactive set. So I try to get people like really immersed and involved in what I'm trying to do during my setup, and I like do comedy in between my sets, and then I'll tell the story of how I wrote the song. But this last EP was the first time, once again, that I've ever done anything kind of like the more poetry spoken word thing that you heard.
It was fun to listen to, though, because I didn't know I didn't have an expectation of what's James making for music.
Yeah, I guess I would say the same. And then we kind of stumbled onto that because we were trying to do we just set this up 2 days ago?
Yeah,
absolutely. Yeah,
so it was a pretty quick turnaround getting you in studio to get caught up on what you're doing and what we need to do to get ready for the show. But
it's been a cool adventure. You guys
are
are very humble and sweet to have me on for such a short amount of time. Honestly, like the turnaround, I was like, oh yeah, I'm down to come on over and do this podcast.
We had a little bit of an opening. We have our times where we're booked out for several months, and then we kind of go through our little lulls and stuff. But there's no shortage of people who actually just want to sit down, share a beer, share a conversation.
Absolutely. Yeah, for sure. And, even looking at your mug across me right now, the Ridge Runners, it just reminds me so much of how fluent the scene is here in Colorado in general. I mean, there's so many great musicians, so many great artists, and so many people just doing all these unique sounds. You were mentioning earlier of how your band is kind of like this, I guess rock and roll almost, but then you add that extra countryside.
What did you call it again?
So the name that my bass player Pete, who was on episode 29, great guy, he came up with the name that we're Farmageddon or Cowpunk, and that was kind of the
Farmageddon. I like the Cowpunk.
Farmageddon.
Yeah, I like both actually. Yeah. If you labeled those as your genres, I mean, even the people watching and listening after this, they're gonna be like, okay, I gotta check this out. This is a brand new genre that's coming out.
Yeah, we got that unique sound. You guys can check us out on YouTube, Ridge Runners Band, and also on Facebook too. So a little plug there for the band.
Absolutely.
Yeah, the Denver music scene has been terrific. From what I've seen, there's a lot of bands, a lot of support within the bands.
Yeah.
And so many different types of music out there. Everywhere there's always someone jamming on a Friday or Saturday night.
Most definitely.
Here.
Yeah. I mean, right on South Broadway here in Denver is the happening spot.
Isn't that where? Have you ever been to? You've been to Herman's Hideaway?
Absolutely.
So our we had a guest on, Mike Cole, back on episode 11. We were pretty early on, from Side Effect. I don't know if you've ever seen Side Effect Denver play.
I've heard of them. Yeah, I've heard that name. Okay. Yeah, tell me about it.
They're definitely more. What's the best way to describe Side Effect? They kind of have that 80s metal feel.
Okay.
But
I can get down with that.
Yeah. The guys that have been rocking around the city for 30, 35 years, just getting her done. And,
absolutely.
Yeah, Side Effect Denver's a great band for sure.
It's really funny how I got my start in music. So essentially, I was in high school, and I don't know if you guys are gonna believe this. This sounds so.
I don't believe it.
Okay, you know what? I'm done.
But I still want to hear it.
Yeah. Okay. Fair enough. So this sounds so fabricated, but the janitor of my high school. He found out that I was actually adopted. I was adopted as a child and in foster care, and he found out that I was adopted. And I guess he as a present to me or something like that, he gave me a Paul Reed Smith Santana guitar.
Oh, wow.
The janitor of my high school. And I was just like, what the hell? He gives me this. I'm like, I don't think I can take this. This is crazy. Yeah. And he was like, nah, you deserve it.
How much does one of those go?
$5,000?
Yeah. A lot of money.
I wonder if he had it sitting around and was just waiting to give it to the right person.
The right person? I don't know, man. He was a really spiritual guy. So maybe God was just give it to James. And
that's cool, man.
Yeah. So that's kind of how I actually got my original start in music was when I was, I guess I got that when I was 17, last year in high school. And I started playing as a band, which my band's name is The Shaky Experience. And it's kind of based off of my hands. I have a little hereditary tremor in my hands. And then kind of the show itself is an experience. It's just this like wild, chaotic, crazy time. And me and my drummer were playing around Baltimore, which is where I'm from, for years. We were playing from, I guess, I don't know, 2010 to 2016. So we were rocking it out. We were doing house shows and venues, and we played a couple of local music festivals, nothing big, but we had a great experience and a little tour as well. And then I was moving to Denver. He was moving to Hawaii. So I actually started performing solo as my current project's name, which is Pelvis Presley. And
I like to play words there. That's pretty cool.
Yeah. And essentially, my aunt was a really big Elvis fan, which is the woman that adopted me.
Okay.
So I kind of wanted to like honor her, but also in like a comedy way, because I love doing comedy in between my songs. Like when I'm tuning my guitar or like getting something going or whatever, I'll do comedy in between my songs. And so I was like, Elvis Presley, Pelvis Presley. And that's kind of how the name came along. And ever since then, just, been rocking out probably since, I guess, the janitor of my high school gave me my guitar.
That's awesome.
That is cool. Yeah, Paul Reed Smith out of high school. I didn't start playing until my early to mid 20s, so I didn't even know what a Paul Reed Smith was until about 6-7 years ago.
Yeah.
Played around a lot of Gibson guys. Les Paul's, of course, classic name in rock and roll.
Absolutely.
It'll always hold the test of time as a guitar. I'm an acoustic guy, so I'm a Martin guy.
Fair enough.
Always will be. Love my Martin guitars, but. Music, man, it's tremendous. So where can the listeners and viewers go and jam to your stuff?
Yeah, absolutely. So you guys can check me out on Facebook.com/Presley Pelvis, and then Pelvis Presley will come up. And then you can also check us out on Facebook.com/The Shaky Experience. And if you just Google The Shaky Experience Bandcamp, if you Google Pelvis Presley Bandcamp or our SoundClouds, we're on both of those platforms. And then you could probably check me out on Instagram too. I am constantly putting up a stream of stories, whether it be my shows or my artwork or whatever project I have going on. You can find me at James Lane 1989 on Instagram.
89. Hell yeah, brother.
Me.
I was born June 7th, 89.
There you go.
So,
yeah.
That's cool, man.
Yeah. Summer dates. Yeah.
Yeah. Hell yeah,
Cool, man.
brother.
So what's your 9 to 5? Do you got a 9 to 5 that you do there? Are you completely immersed in doing hot? Like, how's your day look, man?
Yeah, absolutely. So my goal in life, early on, I remember in grade school, my teachers asking me what I wanted to do for a living, and I told them I wanted to retire at the age of 30.
I think everyone said that.
Yeah, I was really, really determined though. I'm not saying I'm retired. I am not retired. But I feel like I am in some aspects. So I actually work 12 to 5 over at 92.9 FM. So I am a radio DJ. It's a really cool setup. I feel really incredibly blessed to just DJ, play music as a job, and then do underwriting. So basically looking for sponsors and just different businesses to kind of collaborate with us, and it's so much fun because at 92.9 FM we only DJ local music, so that is it. So we're only doing Colorado music, nothing else. And we kind of give the spotlight to artists that might not get the shine typically.
Yeah.
So we'll have like a lot of local bands like reach out to us, send us their material, and then I'll go in, play it, and then it just really allows for an outlet for just artists to try to hear themselves on air.
Now, is the quality of some of the stuff that you're presented, is there a specific, hertz and production quality that you guys require before it goes to radio broadcast?
Yeah, so basically we have interns that essentially are managing our quality. So they're basically checking to make sure that it meets the FCC rules, so no swearing or anything like that, call to actions, and then also making sure that the quality is up to par of what it should sound like. And yeah, I think it's really fun. I'm doing that, and then I have my podcast, which is coincidentally also called the Shaky Experience Podcast. So I have the Shaky Experience Band and then the Shaky Experience Podcast.
I like the name though. It's got a good history now.
I appreciate
now
that.
I know where the name came from.
And then that way you're putting, you know, something that you're aware of, like you mentioned, like something that you have the shaky hands, and you know, no one can diss you when you've acknowledged your own faults up front.
Absolutely.
You know, like,
and made a brand out of it.
What can anyone say?
You know, that's so funny you say that because this is kind of a really silly story. I can't believe I'm even going to say this on air. But my like high school, middle school, I keep on talking about school. Weird. My school life. You know, I would go to pool parties and like, you know, hang out at the beach with friends, and I would always be really shy because I had this really weird birthmark on my chest.
Bring this back real quick. You're good.
Absolutely. I have this really weird birthmark on my chest, and I was so self-conscious about it. Like, I hated taking off my shirt at pool parties. Or
So you're the guy that always wore their shirt.
Is it shaped like a state or anything? Or?
Does it have a cool shape?
I'll tell you guys what it is.
You want to show the listeners?
Maybe at the end of the show if they're lucky. Can't just show off this physique. There's a
We might get more clicks, man. You know?
That's a good point. Okay,
Maybe the thumbnail of the video.
Maybe at the end of the show. Okay. So basically, what it was after like years of being self-conscious about this, I was kind of like, you know what, like, screw it, maybe like it'll be a turn on for some people. So I started being okay with it, and they're like, dude, what's that? And I was like, oh, this is my third nipple.
Okay.
So I actually have a triple nipple right here.
That's terrific.
And essentially like just really self-conscious about it. And then like I was like, oh, shaky hands. And then, you know, when I grew older, I was kind of like, this is who I am. Like, this is what makes me unique and different. Like, I'm gonna own this shit. So yeah, it's kind of cool.
Hell yeah, brother. That's a good story.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, mine's not quite like that, but I'm kind of a hairy person, and growing up, I was very insecure about my hair. Like, I was like, man, I'm so hairy. Like, how could a woman ever find these legs attractive?
When did the gorilla start happening? Because it took me a while. I was a late bloomer.
Yeah.
Yeah, and you know, around 14.
Really?
Yeah, you know, I started getting all the leg hair and stuff. Like, my facial hair didn't really come in but the whole point of this is like, I had to accept it, you know, because there's no point in beating myself up about something that I can't change, because I'm not going to be the type of guy that's shaving my arms and waxing.
Yeah, I don't have time for that.
Yeah,
definitely not.
And so you just got to own, you know, you got what you have.
Play the hand you're dealt. You got to play the hand you're dealt.
You know, one thing that I started learning about life too as I get older, as I just mentioned, I just turned 30 a little bit ago, and I had anxiety and like panic attack so much when I was in my mid to early 20s. And then I started to really get out of that. I was like, enough is enough. I'm going to start like pushing myself towards like a greater me. Yeah. So I started meditating. I used this app called Stop, Breathe, and Think. And I would say that has saved my life. If anyone has anxiety or panic attacks, they should at least consider maybe checking out some meditation apps, because they are like, just the breathing exercises are awesome. Like self-reflection is cool, gratitude list, exercising, eating healthy, like just doing all these things has really like changed me so much as a person. Like, you know, before I was just kind of like, oh man, I am dying of anxiety over here.
You just let it happen.
Yeah. And like, if you just try to like figure out different outlets that might assist your life to better build a better version of you, try it. Yeah, go for it.
I think that's awesome, man, because I mean, it takes strength to be able to recognize the downfall within yourself, and a lot of people want to, you know, always put their best foot forward, which we all should do, but at the same time, it's good to acknowledge your weaknesses, and that way you can understand yourself better. And so, you know, I give you kudos for that, man, because to overcome anxiety, which is something that, you know, once it starts happening, it becomes overwhelming, and all these emotions rush in, and to be able to recognize that first of all, but then also accept it in order to, and then find a way to better yourself from it. Like that's powerful, man. So what were some of like the things that helped you make that decision?
Yeah, for sure. So I would say when I was like just having anxiety so badly to where I couldn't even like function really. I wasn't able to cook or sleep or anything. So I started asking for advice to friends and just mentors and stuff. And they were just kind of telling me like, yeah, you should try this and try that. And then nothing was really working for me. And then I had one person in particular just be like, yeah, have you ever heard of this app called Stop, Breathe, and Think? And I was like,
Okay.
nah, what's that? And I downloaded it, checked it out. And essentially, they have these guided meditations that it's like, hold in your breath and then put your hand on your stomach or something like that. And then it also is yeah, you're already there. And then it had this other one on this guided meditation. It's called The Commonality of Suffering, which is one of the biggest learning experiences I've ever possibly had in my life, maybe, and what it is exactly is it teaches you that everyone in the world would choose happiness over sadness. So even the person that you're arguing with on the internet, even the person that cut you off or whatever the case is, that person would choose happiness over sadness just like you would. So if you just keep that in mind, I think that really like balances things out in such a better perspective.
It takes wanting to do something like that. It takes time for me because I dealt with a lot of anxiety and stuff, issues like that, and I still do at times. It gets the best of me. I've said it a few times. I want to get into meditation. Yeah, I just haven't been disciplined enough to do it for one and start it. Arthur, what was the 4-4-4 thing? Because I did try.
So if you find the whole premise behind this is breathing is one of the ways that you can immediately affect your anatomy, because it slows or speeds up your blood flow. And so if you're feeling anxious, or if you're feeling like, whatever's going on, or you just need to take a deep breath to get your bearings, you breathe in for 4 seconds, 1, 2, 3, 4, and then exhale for 4 seconds. 1, 2,
and then do that 4 times.
4, and you repeat that 4 times. Then it
resets everything.
Yeah, it affects you. It slows your blood flow, slows your heart rate, calms you down. And it's interesting because I've noticed when I do it, I'll be able to breathe in for that 4 seconds, but sometimes like I want to breathe out faster than 4 seconds. So you have to
rush it a little bit.
Yeah, you have to
control the breathing.
Dude, that is so interesting. I think I saw something like on Facebook maybe of like a little tiny GIF like doing the ball like expanding 1, 2, 3, 4, and then what you were just saying. And one thing that I really admire and appreciate about that is it allows you to get back on track with what matters most to you. I mean, because once you have anxiety, panic attack, whatever the case is, it's really slowing you down of who you are as a person, like what you love. And so to be able to start doing things that you enjoy again and admire again is something that I think is really special to anyone that could resonate with anybody.
Free. It's free. You don't have to pay money to do this breathing technique. It's free to everybody.
Just got to make it happen.
And just the last touch on here I was going to say is kind of like the creative input that goes behind it too. So like, you're practicing like old techniques that have been around for like years, just like decades, and like it's now becoming kind of a popular thing, like almost like the CBD, right? Like that's starting to become popular, even though stuff like that has been around for so long. And just be able to take these like resources that we have available to us and kind of like put them in mainstream culture is a great thing, because it's making it more accessible to everybody. And just kind of even, when I started meditating and started to feel better and started to feel more calm, I noticed that even as a creative person, as Pelvis Presley or as the Shaky Experience band, I started to notice that my creative process, my writing process got so much better. I was like writing really cool lyrics that I felt were really fun and special. And, just like to be back on that trajectory is awesome.
Yeah.
That's tremendous.
That is. Hey, so just did you make the ambient noises and all that stuff on that mix?
So I did not. That is actually one of my good friends, Zach Palmquist. He is on a band called Naked on a Mountain, and it's kind of a funny name.
Naked on a Mountain?
Yeah.
What's that genre? What are they
What
all
is
about?
Naked on a Mountain? Oh my God. So they're fronted by Becca. She is an awesome vocalist and guitarist. But yeah, I would say they're kind of just like punk rock.
All right.
Okay.
Yeah, they're a good band. But yeah, so putting those background sounds behind the spoken word poetry thing, and like for once again, anyone that's listening, I highly recommend. I know shameless promotion, but I highly recommend you check it out anyway, because it's really unique. It's very different.
It is different.
It has these like odd like sound effects behind it, like if you're in kind of like a 1970s David Bowie movie or something like that, like and then you hear my my take on kind of the hookup culture of Colorado, just like my experience on dating, but kind of in a poetic sense. And once again, that's called Hookup Culture 2020 Part 1 by Pelvis Presley on SoundCloud. And my friend Zach just did such a terrific job by putting like, you can hear a car the ignition of a car being turned on. There's like train sounds.
Kind of fit what you're talking about.
Exactly.
It was cool. I felt like when I was listening to that, it brought me to, a poetry reading smash event or whatever they call those things, man.
Dude, I love that.
It had that feel to it. And it's awesome to be able to just create something I've always used lyrics as a way to kind of vent, emotional tension.
Okay.
And when you have the capability and wherewithal to be able to, and confidence to be able to put it out there, it feels good to create. It really does, man.
Yeah, absolutely. I was mentioning a little bit earlier, not to sound like a broken record here, but I played the Underground Music Showcase 2018. And once again, 200 bands, 20 plus venues all up and down South Broadway Street. And I played Bandit Oak Brewing Company. So that's a really great brewery on, I think, 4th and Broadway, I want to say, somewhere along those lines. Really highly recommend their beers. But so when I performed during the UMS, it was my album release, and as there's people in the patio, it's kind of packed, and it's just me and my guitar and my pedals, and I just say, like, half of you guys might really love this, other half might not like it so much, but we're gonna rock out, we're gonna do it. And one of my favorite things also is feedback. I love going up to people after the show and be like, hey, what out of my set, what songs stuck out to you guys the most? And then they're like, oh, I love when you said Hotline Girlfriend or Gal Pal or something. They'll just name one of my songs. I'm like, dude, that means the world to me that you even would remember the name of my song title. That's so cool. So yeah,
it's always a good feeling we can get. Constructive criticism is something I've had to get used to, being both in this business and music in general.
Yeah.
So getting used to negative and positive feedback, you have to weigh them and understand what the value is on both of them, I feel like.
Yeah.
Because when I first got in the game, man, I didn't know what the hell I was doing.
Yeah.
And I still don't know if I really do. I just like having a good time and being myself.
Absolutely,
and I feel like that's what creates the best, energy in the room when I work with these other musicians. And, I talked about it last week. Sometimes I get stuck in a little bit of a rut when I come to writing lyrics.
Yeah.
And I tend to write about the same topics. And I'm trying to transition to more of like a storytelling and that style of songwriting a little bit more. So that's a work in progress.
Where do you find you getting most of your inspiration from for your lyrics?
Most of the songs that I've written so far have been personal experiences.
Cool, man.
As well as the experiences of the guys around me, their input on it.
Awesome.
And then some of it's maybe just a scenario that I wanted to create, or loosely based on life events, if you will.
That's awesome.
Sound like a movie.
I dig that. Yeah, that's fun. Me personally, I find a lot of my lyrics coming from just like, experiences, a lot of experience as well. I have a full length in the works coming out, so it'll be about 10 songs. And I've been working so hard at this. And some of the song titles are really kind of like silly and have this very like promiscuous vibe to it, almost similar to my EP, because living out here in Colorado, I've discovered a lot of just really highly sexualized culture.
Promiscuity here in Denver?
Yeah, right.
Compared to Baltimore? Is that
Absolutely, yeah, I'd say so. I think like people in the West Coast to Midwest Coast are a lot more laid back, and then the East Coast, I wouldn't say it's reserved, but I would say it's not as free spirited as the East Coast. Yeah,
I get told all the time, man. Because I'm from New Hampshire, you're from Baltimore. That area, I can hear that accent too.
Yeah,
that kind of Philly, that Baltimore coastal accent, Mid-Atlantic accent.
It's so funny you say that, because being from Baltimore, it is actually, Maryland is on the Mason-Dixon line,
right?
So technically speaking, we're on the South, and it's funny because like I'll say a couple of different words, like the word water, or
water. What was it?
Water.
Is it water?
Yeah.
Water?
Yeah, water. Yeah.
Water.
So, yeah.
And in New England, we say water.
Yeah.
Water,
Could I have a glass of water, please? That's what I'll say. And then
it's the vowels I know. It's the O's and the A's.
Yeah, exactly.
I can hear the,
And then we'll say also, oh, I need to wash my clothes.
Wash. We say a little bit of that in New England, too. Yeah. It's definitely an East Coast thing. But you're right, man. People.
Worcestershire?
Worcestershire. Well, we'll see. We say
Worcestershire?
Worcestershire.
Worcestershire, Worcestershire, Josh.
Yeah. Worcestershire.
That's like the part of the Southern that comes out from me. But when I tell people I'm from Baltimore, they're just like, "Oh, you're from the East Coast." I'm like, "Yeah, but I guess technically we're on the Mason-Dixon line, so I don't know. There's a little Southerner in me."
Yeah, you get a little bit of both.
Yeah, it's kind of cool. But it's going back to what we were saying with the creatives, like just being able to kind of like have this input of being able to just make your own sound, make your own lyrics, and not really like focus so much on like what other people think, but focus on what drives you as a person. Because one thing that I've also learned just kind of growing up and becoming 30 is, dude, we all like, everyone dies. Everyone is going to die. So
I think about mortality
yeah,
daily.
Dude, so everyone should just like live their absolute life to the fullest. As I mentioned, I was adopted.
Amen.
So like for me, I'm just like, I don't care. I'm gonna come over to like these two strangers like thing and like do a podcast and like hang out in this cool room and stuff like that. And like even putting this on, like I'm gonna put this on my gratitude list. I have like a daily gratitude list, and just like today I was on Combustion podcast, and I'll look back at my gratitude list a year from now and see that I did this. I was like, yeah, that was freaking dope.
See, that's important, man, because you focus on, because there's good and bad around us all day, every day.
Sure.
Inevitable. And they're both around consistently, and we have a choice on what we want to focus on. And a gratitude list is so important, because I feel like people often forget about what they've accomplished in a day, or things that they've done,
so much,
and just keep moving forward to the next goal or whatever it is. So like you're giving yourself and you're giving your mentality a pat on the back by doing like that. I feel like that's a brain, like a smart affirmation technique or whatever you want to say, just to keep yourself humble, man, because there's so much that's going on every single day, and so many things that we could focus on that are counterproductive.
Yeah, and it's so easy to get distracted with the hysteria and the negativity that's around, and people do. That's a good point you brought up there, James, to just really be thankful for the good things that happened in that day.
Absolutely, man.
We don't have coronavirus, as
exactly.
far as I know.
Yeah, we're all healthy, hopefully, here, which is cool.
We made sure to fist bump, no handshakes.
I know, I saw that. That was cool. I'm into that. Yeah, man, I think stuff like that is really important, and everything is a journey. Like everything in life is really a journey, and there's so many things that sound so generic too, like me just saying that, it's like, yeah, duh, but like if you really think about it, like just like even my path coming here, like basically I live in Capitol Hill, Denver. I took the bus to the train, and then I biked the rest of the way, and I was biking around the Cherry Creek Reservoir, and I was like, this is amazing. Like, thank God that like if I wouldn't have messaged these guys, yeah, it was perfect. Yeah, 69 degrees, 70 degrees outside.
Terrific.
69.
Yeah,
nice.
Dude.
Bullseye.
Bullseye. But yeah, so I think like just kind of reflecting on the positive outlooks on things, it really helps me with the Pelvis Presley Shaky Experience stuff, and my podcast as well. Just kind of being able to interview people too, just hearing their stories. I've been interviewing a lot of musicians that used to be famous in they've had their music featured in car commercials or movies or TV shows. You may have heard some of their songs through there. And you can check that all out on Spotify by going to the Shaky Experience. That's the name of my podcast.
How many episodes you're in?
Yeah, so I'm at 64, but only 4. The past 4 are on Spotify. What I'm going to start doing is kind of like a throwback episode every Thursday. So we'll be doing a throwback Thursday, and then because I started it in May 2017, and I haven't really done the Spotify thing since January of this year. So it's been going for a while, and it was just kind of on SoundCloud and Mixcloud for the longest time. And then, I had people reach out and they're like, hey, I'm not going to download SoundCloud or Mixcloud. You should put it on Spotify and iTunes.
Yeah.
So I went ahead and went about that, and now we have 4 episodes up there. But as I mentioned, we're going to be doing the throwback episodes, and hopefully we'll get the other 60 on there over amount of time.
Now, are you planning on doing weekly uploads with the Shaky Experience podcast?
Absolutely, yeah. So, before I was kind of doing it to where I was interviewing community members. That's how it started off. I interviewed my councilman, District 7's councilman, Joel Clark. I interviewed a bunch of other people, and it was fun. Business owners, music venue coordinators, talent buyers, whoever.
So you kind of dip into a little bit like we're doing here, a little bit about any and everybody.
It's fun to get to know
Precisely.
people.
That's terrific.
Yeah, so it was a really cool experience. And then I decided this year, 2020, I was like, you know what? New decade, new me, new life, new everything. This year, I am going to retire at the age of 30. Now, if I'm serious,
Now, you mean mentality wise, or like what do you?
I
mean
don't
by
know. I'm not sure. Like, I will let you know on December 31st of 2020. Yeah, you can follow me.
We'll have to follow you. We'll have you on for the New Year's special here next year. So
Exactly. Figure out what's going on. I don't know, but I just said to myself, like, I really don't want to work for anyone anymore. I want to be able to, like,
Amen.
relax, work on projects, work on my creative side as much as I want to, but still be able to pay rent and pay for food,
Yeah, I wouldn't mind making less money as long as I'm happy, because money truly isn't everything.
No,
It
absolutely.
you know?
Hell no. Absolutely not.
helps,
but yeah.
I mean, you got to pay the bills.
Absolutely, that's correct. Yeah, so I'm still on board with that. I think that where I was going with this was I decided I'm going to try to interview these bands that maybe people have heard of. Maybe you saw them and they were featured in Rolling Stones magazine one time, or that song was in a movie that you liked. And that's kind of my goal, is to try to like interview these musicians that are more well known and more established, be able to share their story with the audience, a story that they may have not personally heard before. So maybe you haven't heard like what's this band's favorite song or what's their craziest tour memory, like just the questions that I personally feel like I am not hearing about this band. And then kind of just go from there, see if I can get some sponsors, and then hopefully just make it work to where I'm able to pay my bills and chill at home and do what I want. Yeah.
Well, I mean, if you don't have the ambition and if you're not going to actually do it, it's one of those things, because it's not for the faint of heart. It's not always the easiest task to achieve your goals and achieve your dreams, and you have to expect it to be difficult. I mean, I've said this the last couple times in the past couple weeks because it really stuck with me. I was listening to a motivational video, and they're like, if you want to live an easy life, then your life is going to be hard. But if you go into it and work hard and push yourself and do all these things, then your life will become easier. And so it's just, it's important when thinking about these big goals to expect trials and tribulations.
Sure, absolutely. Yeah, setting like a monthly goal chart can be really helpful as well at times too. Just kind of like what you want to accomplish in the month of March 2020 or something like that.
It helps. I kind of need to do that.
Yeah.
For me, it helps to have, we need to do X, Y, and Z by this date. If we don't hit that, so be it. But this is what I'm shooting for. Let's see how much we can nail. And it's worked out pretty well for me, I feel like. If I set realistic goals, we said we wanted to be a video podcast by March 2020. We did.
There you go. Exactly. What do you guys think is next? Do you guys have what would be like a really big pinnacle for the Combustion podcast?
I think
Phase 3.
Phase 3. I mean, we've always talked about, we always want to stay humble, making it about any and everybody, of course. We want to take Colorado as Colorado's podcast. If you're coming through Colorado, you want to be on DCPC for sure.
And we would like to be able to employ people as well, because
Wow.
Kevin and I do a lot of things. Like, he's on the board doing that. I do a lot of the mixing and mastering afterwards, and then Kevin's strong on the.
It's a full-time job, man.
So it'd be nice to be able to be successful enough, doing something that's initially selfless. And be able to help others with it. So that's one of our big goals. And Jamie, he's been on several episodes. He's the homeowner of the studio where we record. He's been a huge help to us. But eventually we would like to get our own space and then maybe help other podcasters produce their podcasts and help them with their video production and things of that nature. So then everything we've learned along the way, we could pass that, kind of that baton back by helping other podcasts become
cool,
video.
Man.
And
Have you guys thought about doing a live show?
We have. We have talked about doing it live. I think the only reason we don't at this point, as the viewers and listeners know, we like to put in a couple final touches after the show.
For sure.
The intro
Absolutely,
music.
Yeah.
We're going to drop in some advertising stuff on the video. So that would be the only reason we don't do it live, is so we can put a little bit of post-production on it. Not to say we could run this live right now through I think it's Twitch or one of those services.
Fair enough, yeah.
And then you can kind of get some of the live feed interaction, and we may get into that. We might run into a situation where we do an episode on Monday where it's something like that, and then we do Wednesday where we sit down with James Lane and he tells about his experience on The Price is Right, which we need to get into.
Absolutely, yeah. I would be happy to share that. I just want to put a little bit more into the podcasting here. So, you know, with my show, I never expected it to be where it's at. Like, okay, so how I even got into podcasting, how I even got into anything at all was I moved from Baltimore to Denver in I think August 2016, and I was heavily involved in my community in Baltimore, and I was doing really cool things at a hostel there. I was doing community engagement, setting up events and activities and hosting concerts in the basement. So we were doing really cool stuff. And then I come out to Denver and I was like, oh, I have no community out here. I don't know anyone. What am I going to do? So I made a flyer that read, "Hello, reader. I'm interested in working for you. My passion's entertainment, but my background's in marketing. If you have work for me, please email me at." And then I hung those flyers all up and down Denver. And I got emails from just different people reaching out to me and just saying like, "Hey, that was a really ambitious flyer. You know, would you be interested in so and so?"
That's badass.
Yeah, and
Old school hustle.
one of which was Met Radio, which is MSU Denver's college radio station. So I auditioned over there. I got my own show, and that's how I kind of got involved in the live radio, live online only radio, and then podcasting as well. So basically we were doing the live sessions online where people could listen in while it's happening, but I would record the episodes through Audition as well, and then take those episodes and then put them on SoundCloud or Mixcloud. And then that's kind of when I got hired at 92.9 FM Denver. And yeah, I've kind of taken it from there, and that's been my experience. But I would love to, you know, do a live show one day, or like kind of go from there. Even, you know, one big benefit, I don't know if you guys do this, but one big benefit to podcasting or doing radio in general is if you reach out to booking agents, if your favorite band's coming to town, if your favorite comedian's coming to town, if someone is coming to town that you enjoy, you can reach out to their booking agent and be like, "Hey, what's up? I host a podcast. I host a radio show. Here's the amount of listeners we have. This is what we've done. Any chance that we could get this person on my show? And also, can you hook me up with guest list? Would love to see them." And it's worked for me like over 30 or 40 times.
Oh, that's pretty.
That's terrific. Yeah, that's we might need to look into doing.
You
something
should
like
do that.
I mean,
yeah,
because you know it's been, the focus has been on so much in the Denver scene, and about being about everybody. You know, we touched on some YouTubers we've had come through here before. And that might be a good piece of advice for us to look into.
Oh, please,
you know, to get some of these podcasters back on the scene.
Kind of to jump conversation.
Sure.
Here.
Yeah, please.
We didn't really do this, but we're doing it now. So I put together some would you rather's for you.
Oh my God, I'm so excited for this. I love that you did that. That's amazing.
They're not super serious, but the first one, would you rather peanut butter and jelly sandwiches, or bagel and cream cheese?
Oh, easily. So I am allergic to peanut butter.
Oh, okay.
So bagel, but if it was
how about Nutella and jelly sandwich?
Well, all nuts actually. But let's say like maybe I love grilled cheese. How about that? Like a grilled cheese sandwich between grilled cheese and the bagel with what is it?
Cream cheese.
Cream cheese. You know, I just started eating bagels a few years ago, surprisingly. I had a bagel before I came out here. That was the last thing I ate. Yeah. But, oh, man, depends. And who's making it? Who's the cook? Is it like Gordon Ramsay?
It could be whoever you want.
Okay, got it.
Or yourself. Maybe you make the best one for yourself.
Okay.
You know?
I'm going to go with grilled cheese, honestly.
Grilled cheese?
Yeah. Unless the bagel is a garlic bagel.
Well, now, do you put meat on your grilled cheese?
So I'm actually vegetarian.
Okay.
But I would put like that fake meat on my grilled cheese. I'm
the fake and bacon.
Yeah, I love the fake and bacon.
Yeah.
Okay, what else? Do you got another?
Well, Kevin, what do you?
Oh man, so are we gonna go with the grilled cheese or the peanut butter and jelly one? Which
either or versus
grilled cheese versus bagel with cream cheese?
Yeah.
Okay.
Dude, that's tough, man. Because I love an everything bagel with a schmear.
Yes, yes.
You know, that's some good stuff
I'm
right
a bagel
there.
guy too.
Yeah, bagels.
I'm
are
gonna have to
good.
go with the bagel, man.
Okay, fair enough. Yeah.
Yeah.
Have you guys ever had? You're from the East Coast. Have you had a New York bagel?
I have.
Nice.
Yeah,
Yeah,
but I
they're
had some
pretty
family
good.
in the New York City area, so
Oh,
it
cool.
was a treat to go down there and get a slice of pizza, and a bagel, of course.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
Oh yeah. So this one is a little bit different. So would you rather be able to find a genie that could grant you 3 wishes and 3 wishes only, or would you rather be a free genie, not stuck in the bottle, a free genie, and grant other people wishes?
That's a good question. Because I do sincerely care about the well-being of others, sometimes more than myself. But if I had 3 wishes, I would probably use those wishes to hopefully assist to other people's living. I'd be like, end world hunger and coronavirus, and then, all animals are okay or something like that. I'm kind of a dork. Something along those lines. Yeah, probably the first one. Yeah.
Okay.
I would have to agree. I'm gonna take the 3 wishes because I feel like if you play those 3 wishes right, things could go in your favor.
That is true.
And everybody's favor for that
Yeah.
matter. Let's make it about everybody.
Maybe one of my other wishes would be winning The Price is Right again.
Yeah.
Yeah,
You were stoked. You were stoked on there. I watched that video.
We
man.
watched it, man. That was
you
pretty
guys
cool.
watched it?
And,
Yeah.
and you got that thing right.
Dude, you nailed it
on the head.
Yeah, so dude, that was I'm really lucky that worked out.
So
it's kinda crazy.
walk us through that experience because I've always been a fan. First of all, have you seen that documentary on Netflix about The Price is Right, where the guy that memorizes all the prices?
Like the last girl I was seeing, her and I watched some of it together, and it was pretty good. Yeah.
So based on what I learned from that documentary, he was on there like 30 something times before he got picked. How many times did you go on the show before they called your name up? One time?
That's
Really?
it, yeah.
They're like, we
because
got to have James up
You
here.
must have had a genie.
I did, dude. I secretly was carrying around my lantern with me or whatever. My lamp. Yeah, the golden
It could
lamp.
be a
Yeah,
lantern, I
yeah,
suppose.
yeah. Lantern could like a spooky,
the fire, the
ghoulish
flame in there is
genie.
the genie.
Yeah. Okay. So yes, I am a winner on The Price is Right. I won The Price is Right January 14th the episode aired January 17th, 2014. So if you type in on YouTube The Price is Right, one right price, January 17th, 2014, I will come up, and what you're looking at right now, ladies and gentlemen, is not what I look like on The Price is Right. I am like this sweaty stoner guy with a crooked mustache, basically. So I was living in LA with my 2 best friends and this lady we met off of Craigslist, and we were having fun. We were I haven't smoked weed since 2014, but I was smoking every day back then.
Yeah.
And that was 2013. I was always high and just kind of goofing off with some friends and hanging out at the pool and walking around Hollywood. It was a crazy experience for dudes in their, early 20s. I was 23, and we're just, oh my God, we were sneaking into we snuck into a Beverly Hills party. We were like servers at a Hollywood rooftop party. We were tabling music festivals. We were just doing all this like crazy stuff, and we're just some kids from Baltimore. And we're like, what are we
Just
doing?
tearing up the town.
Yeah. So, we were smoking one day, and I was like, what the hell? Like, I have got to do something with my life. This is crazy. Like, I am just literally just a stoner doing nothing.
Yeah.
And my friend was like, okay, I'll get us tickets to sit in the crowd of Let's Make a Deal with Wayne Brady. So the tickets are free. You can get them through this website.
That's pretty cool. Because they need people in there.
Yeah, so the website's called One Iota, and anyone can get tickets to Kimmel, whatever you want. They're whatever show, they're all in there. So basically, we sat in the crowd, sat in the front row or like close to it of Let's Make a Deal. And you have to rent a costume when you get in there unless you bring your own. So I had like this like Elroy Jetson costume and I was wearing, so everyone is wearing these silly like themes and everything. And then I swear to God, I thought the producer was going to pick me. I was so convinced because he kept on staring at me and pointing at me and talking to one of the other producers. And I was so stoked. I was like, holy crap, I'm really about to just get picked on this, like, television show. And like, this is going to be my big break and everything. And what happened was, It wasn't. So I think my part got cut last minute, and I was so bummed. I was so sad. I was like, no, like that was my one time, and now like my life doesn't even have meaning. Like just 23-year-old, being silly.
Yeah.
So someone came up to me after the show that was working for Let's Make a Deal, and they're like, hey man, like, we're looking at you, and you seem like a cool guy. You should walk across the hall in CBS at The Price is Right. And I say, no, like they'll never pick me, no way. And he was like, no, seriously, you should try to get tickets and come back. And I was like, I don't know, man. So I went back home and I thought about it, and I was like, hey guys, do you want to go? And we go over, and we're standing in line, and they audition everyone every day. So anyone that's sitting in the crowd is auditioned. They're like, hey,
Okay.
what's your name? And, just tell me one fun fact about you or something. Yeah. And so they auditioned all of us. I get in there, and me and my best friend Tom are sitting right next to each other, and we go up front because we're like, they're never going to call us. So let's just sit up front. So we're sitting up front, and, a producer comes up to us, and they're like, hey, we need you to go sit over here. And I was like, wait, why? And they're like, we can't tell you. And I was like, oh my God.
Is it happening?
Is that kind of when you knew, like, I'm going to get picked?
Yeah. And they don't tell you that you're going to get picked. So when I go over there, I'm sitting, and me and Tom are just hanging out, and I rushed to the bathroom really quick. Oh, I forgot about this. So before we even got to CBS that morning, I had a beard, and I remember my friend was like, oh, you got to shave that. There's no way they'll pick you if you have a beard.
Really?
And I wonder why. I mean, they might. He was just like saying it. Yeah. And I was like, oh, maybe. So I was like shaving, and then like the Uber or Lyft was called, and it was already here, and he was like, you got to go. We got to go. And I was just like, okay. So I throw my razor and I run out, and I was like, oh my God, my mustache is crooked. So like you can see in the video, my mustache is crooked. And then
style points, man.
Yeah. So, something different, I guess. So we're sitting in the crowd, the music hits, they call down contestant number 1, they call down contestant number 2, and then contestant number 3, come on down, James Lane, you are on The Price is Right. And I look at my best friend, and I'm just like, no, I don't know.
Is this
like,
real?
yeah, I was
Did
like,
he say my name,
I was like, there must be another James Lane in this crowd. Like, and then they was like, nah, man, that's you. And then like one of the people working for the show was like, hey, come on down. And I was like, oh my God. So I jump up, and I start like freaking out, and I go down to the podium, and they started bidding over me all day. Like basically the whole day I had, I'd bid like 500, and they'd be like 501. And that was happening the whole time. I was like, I'm never getting picked, and my dreams are crushed. So I finally bid right. I go up on stage. You can see it in the video. Me and Drew hug it out and are having a good time.
Drew Carey definitely felt your energy there.
Yeah, he really,
he did, man.
Yeah.
He seemed excited to have you on the show.
So the Lake Tahoe and San Francisco trips are right there. And then I actually, believe it or not, I was going to pick the wrong answer. And then the crowd actually
yelling
it out. And I was like, all right. So I went with the crowd, and I won a trip to San Francisco, a trip to Lake Tahoe, a camcorder, and $10,000.
That's awesome.
That's terrific, dude.
Yeah,
that
pretty cool.
That was awesome.
Because I know in the video where I saw you answered, you nailed the price almost perfectly.
It's like 32.65,
something like that,
or something like that.
It was almost nuts on.
And Aisha Tyler was there too. She was like the guest host. She's Lana and Archer, and she's on I think she was on Whose Line Is It Anyway, and a bunch of other shows. And we just have like that little dance off like together in the video, and it's such a hilarious, like ridiculous video. And like the craziest part is like that wasn't even like the first time I've done something like that. In my early 20s, going back to the retirement phase of my life, me and my best friend were just like, let's try to like become background actors to where like we get to just like hang out with celebrities, eat free food, and get paid doing it. And then I was like, yeah, let's do it. Hook us up. And so we were background actors in Veep, House of Cards, The Dark Knight Rises. I was in like a pillow commercial, a few other, I was in short films, a few movies. Yeah, like we were doing this for a while to where we were just kind of getting like free food and hanging out with like just, I don't know, like moderately famous people, and we're like, why not just do this forever? And yeah, it was a cool run. It was a really fun run.
You lived it up when you were out there in Hollywood.
I was trying. Yeah.
You gotta have the experience. So you've been to a lot of places. It sounds like you've had a lot of experiences. A question that we like to ask our guests: if you could give humanity information to better humanity tomorrow, what would you tell humanity, or what viewpoint, or what would you say to better humanity?
Absolutely. Yeah, I love that question. Thank you so much for asking that. I want to ask you afterwards, think about this while I'm answering this.
Okay.
I want to know both of your guys' claim to fame afterwards.
Okay.
So you're going to think about that, right? Even if it's something as simple as, oh, I was in my high school's newspaper one time, or like something along those lines, whatever. You guys are going to both tell me. Okay. Anyway, the piece of advice I have to humanity: take risks, take chances, it'll work out. Be the best person that you can possibly be, and never ever give up. Like, it seems so intense, it seems so extreme, whatever the case is. Like, all my family actually is passed. I actually don't even have any family anymore, believe it or not. And it's like, it's a damper. I know it sounds really sad, and you're listening to this on the podcast, you're watching this on the series. But one thing that makes a difference in the world is people trying, people caring, people just moving past the adversities and just go for it, man. Like, literally just go for it. Like, I am from Baltimore. I get such a lousy rep from being from Baltimore. Oh, it's so dangerous. The Wire. It's not like that at all. It's not what it sounds like, what the news stations are making it sound like. It's actually a really beautiful, incredible place that I'm so grateful and blessed to be from. But there is still crime there. There's still adversities happening. And when I tell people that I want to go back, they're like, why would you want to do that? You could just live in Colorado and like do your thing. And like, don't worry, I'm happy being in Colorado. I love being in Denver as well, but I want to go back to Baltimore because it takes someone to make the change for the change to happen. It's not like, oh, someone will do it eventually. It's like, nah, it doesn't work like that. You have to be the change. You have to be the person that makes the impact in life. And I think that is the piece of advice. Never ever give up. Be the change. And just like try to be happy. At least just give it a shot. Like,
it takes an effort. Put in that effort.
Got to put in the effort. You do. You got to let a rip tater chip, every day. Get out there, get something done. Be proactive towards those goals.
Yeah,
for sure.
Absolutely. Like,
you got to water the seed every day for it to grow.
Demonstrating leadership is a really big one. I worked for 2 nonprofits while I lived in Baltimore, and I absolutely loved both of them. I was working for a local currency, and I was working for a hostel. And essentially it changed my life so significantly. Like, I never had influencers growing up. I was adopted, and to have these people come into my life and basically show me the ropes, show me what a reusable water bottle is, show me what an avocado and kale was. I never even knew what that stuff was until like my early 20s. And then once I started learning these things that people knew about when they're teenagers to even younger years, at first it was kind of embarrassing and I was really shy about it. But then I realized that, it makes me who I am as a person. And I feel really grateful to give the advice and give the knowledge that I have now to others, because there's so many other people out there that are just suffering through different challenges in their life. And it's just like, if you can be that mentor that hopefully someone can look up to one day, that is very powerful in my opinion.
That was a great response to that.
James Lane's coming in with some heavy hitting.
And honestly, man, like, we appreciate you sharing your story, and I'm sure a lot of the listeners out there appreciate your story as well, man, because it's easy to try to bury the hard times and bury the hard facts, And man, I get emotional sometimes. Like my eyes are getting a little.
Don't worry about it.
But it's just that's something that's huge, like being alone in the world, technically without a family, but still, pushing forward and stuff. It's just, I don't know why, man. That just got to me a little bit.
Oh no, that's okay. So like, let me put it this way. This is going to be so heavy. So for whoever's listening, like, don't don't get sad about me. Be happy that, you know, I'm on the I'm just happy that I'm on the podcast, like, or I'm just happy that I'm in the surrounding, and like I had such like an amazing day. But one thing that I learned, so my biological mom, she actually passed at the age of 30. She passed when she was 30. I was 12 years old and she was 30 when she passed. I am 30 now. So my whole life I was thinking, whoa, what if I pass when I'm at the age of 30? So, you know, through that kind of mindset, it really assisted into who I am today. So basically, it really allowed me to basically develop as a person into the mindset of, well, you're going to be on this planet for an extremely short amount of time. You could follow the same trajectory as your mom did, and she passed when she was 30. So if I pass when I'm 30, what do I want to accomplish at the, you know, from past to right now? And I would say, like, hey, I was like, I love acting, I love music, I love sharing stories, so podcasting and radio, and I love traveling, as well as many other outlets. And I think that in my mind, that just really drove me to just live my life to the absolute fullest and the most extreme at all times. It's really funny because I'm a huge Instagrammer. I hate admitting that, but I am. I share like 5 stories a day. So if you're into watching other people's lives and other people's stories, once again, I'm at James Lane 1989, and the stories that I'm sharing are typically just like a beautiful scenery thing, or you know, I have new music coming out, new podcast, whatever is going on in my life, and I just really try to make it as exciting as possible, and just kind of even putting up my artwork as well. And I think that I have a lot of people reach out to me on my Instagram. I have people message me pretty much daily, just replying to one of my stories throughout the day, and just be like, dude, that's so awesome. What the hell? And I'm just like, anybody can do this. Like, anybody in the world can, you know, come out to Colorado, go out to California, go out to Oregon, or wherever you want to be, wherever in the world you want to be, you can make it a reality. It's challenging. It takes time to really develop a community and develop like a foundation. But once you do, like, you know, look at your expenses, look at what really matters to you. You know, you have your gym membership, you have your car, you have all these things. Are those things are what really is making you happy? I don't know. That's for you to decide as a person. For me personally, I'm a minimalist that has a bicycle, and I have an apartment in Capitol Hill, and I feel really content with that. So that allows me to have like this endless creative freedom and just be able to like relax on my couch, you know?
That's awesome.
So it's fun. Yeah.
That's awesome.
It's crazy rant.
James Lane came in here, kind of inspired me a little bit.
No, that was inspiring, man. And keep sharing your story because people want to hear it. My claim to fame.
Do it. I want to hear it.
I'm gonna go back to my rapping days when I was pushing really, really hard on, and I would make my own beats. Everything was original. I didn't take any loops from anything, so I'd produce my own beat, write all the own lyrics, and I was doing this little thing where we were trying to compete for a spot to perform for Warner Bros. Records.
What?
And
we're in Colorado?
Yeah, in Colorado.
What's the narration? Okay.
This was man, it was early 20s, so this was early 20s for me. So
how old are you now?
33 on the 18th. So,
okay, cool. Yeah.
You know, it was a while back, but I remember I was off Colfax and Wabash, you know, and I was like, you know, one of 2 or 3 white guys in the mix.
Yeah, right.
And I always remember this one night that, you know, and I slaved over these beats. I slaved over the lyrics forever. And I had my turn, and I had been in there several times and performed several times, but for some reason this night, it was just the energy was different, and I put on this jam, and it was playing, and like I had the part at the end where like it builds up and then an explosion happens in the beat, and then like, you know, and the whole bar was like, oh, like everyone was feeling that.
That's
so hard, and like I don't know, that moment that really inspired me to kind of, you know, if you could create something that helps move people,
absolutely.
I would say that was my claim to fame, to get me into a mentality to want to, you know, continue to pursue something like that, and continue to provide entertainment that you know, moved people. You know.
Do you have recordings online?
You know, I want to hit more of the YouTube. I got a lot of freestyles. If you search Raw Article, RAWE article, I got a lot of old freestyles on there. I got some new stuff that I want to put on there.
There was stuff we did back when Art and I first met. He's got some stuff out there, man. It's
Really?
cool.
That's cool. Okay.
But I've made like 90 songs in the past, and but it's just not all out there, and I lost a bunch of it because it was all on CDs.
We got to try to recoup some of that stuff.
Yeah, I'd love to hear that.
Kevin.
Okay, let's hear yours, Kevin.
You know, the band, obviously, it was a lot of fun doing the shows I've been able to do with the Ridge Runners. That felt like a great moment for me. But my claim to fame, I think I got to go all the way back to high school.
Okay.
And I was, a lot of my Kingswood Regional High School alumni, 07, Wolfboro, New Hampshire, will remember they always said, we're going to be watching you on the Weather Channel someday. Everyone thought I was going to be, because I was the high school weatherman. I was. And, so I would provide the weather report for the school every day.
Yeah.
I'd go in and say, look, guys, we're
love that.
We're looking at about 4 to 8 inches of snow, low pressure systems moving in, nor'easter, right? So I kind of knew at a young age, being that, radio voice or meteorologist.
Yeah, you do have the voice. Yeah.
Thanks, man. Appreciate that. That's when it clicked to me that I need to be doing something along those lines.
Yeah.
So that's
Wait, so you were the weatherman of your high school?
Correct.
And then did you continue? Are you a meteorologist now?
No.
He's chief meteorologist of Discussion
Combustion
Combustion.
podcast.
Yeah.
Chief meteorologist, these high levels. I would love how if all your credits road and then chief meteorologist Kevin.
Yeah, man. Yeah, it takes me back a little bit because I wanted to be in meteorology. That was my early passion.
Yeah.
And I knew I just wanted to be in front of a camera and a screen, doing something along those lines. So I feel like that was the early calling call for me.
That's awesome.
So I'm going to take that as my claim to fame.
So growing up in New Hampshire, you obviously have Boston right there, and then Burlington.
Yep.
I am actually going to a wedding in Burlington, Vermont.
Great city.
I've been twice now, and I'm so excited because Church Street, downtown is really nice. Penny Clues, really great breakfast area. But I went up to New Hampshire in Exeter. Me and my friend Mike, we drove from Baltimore to Cape Cod. We stayed at his buddies in Cape Cod for the night, and then we drove up to Exeter because he had another buddy up there, and he was like, let's go partying for the weekend. So we went up to Kittery, Maine, and then we went back down to Exeter, stopped at his house, had a beer, and then went down to Boston, partied all night, and then drove to back to Exeter later on and just crashed out there. It's crazy because everything is so close there that it makes it really convenient to just kind of state hop out there almost, right? What was that like for you?
New England, Maine, New Hampshire, Vermont, Massachusetts, Rhode Island, Connecticut, all those states can fit into Colorado almost twice. So,
yeah, absolutely.
Rhode Island especially, you can zip through that whole state in about 37 minutes.
Wow.
We were there. Yeah, we stopped through Providence at the gas station. I was like, that's cool. I don't know.
Yeah, New England, it's a different place. It's old.
A lot
of old
very
architecture
historic.
there.
Yeah,
a lot of history there.
Yeah.
I've really enjoyed growing up. I was in a small town, Wolfboro, New Hampshire, America's oldest summer resort, actually.
All right.
So, loved growing up there, man. I don't know if I'd want to go back, maybe as a vacation spot for sure.
Got it,
I'd like to take my girlfriend there and kind of show where I grew up and stuff. But,
that'd be fun, yeah.
New England's terrific. If people haven't been there, go have yourself a lobster.
Yeah, dude. The lobsters are New
clam
England.
chowder.
Yeah.
Get you some chowder.
What's do you know who? Have you ever checked your hometown's Wikipedia page and it has most notable people from your town?
Yeah, I'm number one.
Yes, dude. Meteorologist, high school meteorologist.
I'm just messing. No, there's been a lot of because Wolfboro is Mitt Romney has a house there.
Oh yeah.
So Wolfboro is a very high-end vacation spot. Jimmy Fallon's got a spot there.
Jimmy Fallon. I've met Jimmy Fallon before.
Yeah, he seems like a pretty nice guy.
Yeah.
But yeah, man.
That's really cool. Yeah, so I'm from Baltimore, Maryland, but the exact neighborhood that I'm from is called Dundalk, and it's on the city and county line, right on the line. And the most famous person that went to my high school is actually the guy that created Elmo. So Elmo's founder. So I've actually met Kevin Clash a couple of times. He's cool.
That's terrific.
And then going back to what you were saying about history, the building that I was working in Baltimore at Hostling International Baltimore was this historic mansion that they renovated and transformed into a traveler's hostel. And basically the building is actually older than the city of Denver.
Huh.
It's crazy, isn't it?
Yes,
I don't doubt it.
That's how a lot of architecture is in New England too. I lived in a house that was built in the early 1700s when I was up there.
Really?
I mean, you step on the stair wrong, you're going through it. You know what I
Wow.
mean? So
Yeah.
a lot of old school stuff up there for
What
sure.
was the you know, it sounds like you're from a smaller town.
Yeah.
And not to make this my interview on you, but you know, what was the transition like for you going from a small town like that to being, you know, you're kind of in a biggish city now, or at least a city that's growing. I will say that. What's that like for you?
It was alarming.
Yeah.
It was definitely alarming. I felt very anxious. I felt like everybody was out to attack me, kind of thing. You know?
Really?
Yeah, just because I wasn't familiar with. I mean, yeah, I'd been to Boston and stuff, but I'd never lived in a multicultural city. So it was a bit of an adjustment for me, honestly.
How do you feel now?
Oh, I feel great, man. I love it.
How
I've
long
met
have
great
you-
people, and so let's see, 07 I moved here, so it'll be 13 years this October.
Jeez, man.
Yeah.
Okay,
So been here a
so
while.
you're yeah, this is your home then.
Yeah,
you feel
yeah.
comfortable and
I'm
everything's
in
cool.
Colorado now, man. Always New Englander at heart, but
Yeah, amen. Where are
all y'all and plants.
you? Yeah, you're
This-
from Colorado.
Yeah, I'm,
originally.
I'm from 5280. You know,
What part of Colorado are you from?
I'm actually from kind of north. Well, it's Park Hill, so 17th in Colorado area, and it's kind of near the Natural History Museum.
That's 17th in Colorado. That's are we talking about by like Trader Joe's and stuff like that? The Colorado Boulevard?
So that's 8th in Colorado, where Trader Joe's is. So I was just a little bit north of
by
there.
City Park.
Yeah, exactly.
Interesting. So you're I mean you're a city kid.
Yeah,
That's what you are.
I've
Like,
never left. Always been
Yeah,
here.
that's cool. Yeah, but I'm sure you've traveled as well though, right?
Here and there, like to Illinois. Like I got family out in Ohio. One thing about being from Colorado is everybody moves here. And so
Transplant
we
city.
don't really have an accent out in Colorado, but I grew up.
a melting pot.
I grew up with people from Queens, New York. I grew up with people that are from New Orleans.
That's a good thing.
You know, that are all over the place. So like I've been
Lot
told
of
that I have
influences.
like this East Coast accent, but I'm from Denver,
Dude,
and I picked up on other people's accents. Is what it's like. I'm a chameleon with the tongue.
Arthur, I can see
Basically.
you in the East Coast, dude.
I
Yeah.
could too. I've
I
always
could
said that.
totally see him in the East Coast. I feel like you would rock it. You like a part of me feels like you know, in the past year, I've been learning a lot about just like vibes and astrology and
Yeah.
like spirituality and stuff like that. And like you totally feel like you're secretly like a hustler on the side, but not like an evil like mobster guy. But
Maybe a little. I wouldn't mind. You know, the gray area is a fun area for me.
I could see you
Yeah.
like hustling in like New York City or Philly and just being like, I got this, you know? Like,
Yeah.
I don't know.
He
I
would
could
do
see-
well. He
I
would
think
do well
he
on
would
the
as
East Coast.
well, yeah.
I think he was one of the first guys I met when I moved to Colorado, so I think I recognized that kind of early on. And Art kind of pulled me out of some of my old. I was very one-track mind for a while, and he kind of helped me become a little bit more open-minded.
That's really cool, dude. I
Yeah.
It's what
admire
great friends
that
are for.
story a lot. Yeah. You know, like so in my going back to what I was saying a little bit earlier. So I had the opportunity to visit my 50th state last year. I visited Alaska, and that was my 50th state. Me and my friend James, the guy getting married in Vermont, we went together and had the most awesome, amazing experience ever. But I will say this, during the journey, I've learned an insane amount of stuff.
Yeah.
So I am from Dundalk, which once again is the city-county line of Baltimore, and Dundalk is they're one-track minded as well, for sure. Like, you know, they like being in their ways, and that's cool. To each their own. You know, we live in a very subjective world, and you know, whatever makes people happy, I'm down with. You know, as long as it's not harmful or like offensive
Agreed.
to anybody else. But I would say that you know, I didn't know what trendy things were. Like, you see things like yoga, meditation, reusable water bottles, recycling, vegetables in general. I didn't know what any of those things were until I got out and started traveling a lot more. And I try to bring that knowledge back to my town when I come back. And I'm just like, guys, you should like consider opening up a yoga studio in Dundalk, because like it would really benefit you. Like, and when I say the word spiritually, I don't mean you need to go to Catholic or Christian
Yeah.
churches. That's not what that means. That means that basically just like, I don't know, you're more open, you're more free as a person. It doesn't really involve like reading the Bible or something like that. Yeah.
Spirituality is something that I'm very in touch with. You know, I believe in higher energies, higher powers that we could tap into that help, you know, move everything. And I also believe that all religions prey to the same energy.
Absolutely.
And just it's interpreted differently based on geography.
Absolutely.
So, I mean, that's honestly how I look at it. So I am curious though, man, because Kevin and I both have our own little slogans.
Yeah, we always like to end on the hashtags.
Yeah,
Oh, man.
Yes.
Okay.
So let it rip,
Yeah.
tater chip.
Okay. I love that.
Believe and achieve is mine. What would your slogan be?
So wait, okay. So yeah, my slogan, like if I had something to say to like as a hashtag, is that what you're saying? Oh man, that's such a good question. I haven't heard that one yet. I would say the one that I used to say when I was like 21 is never give up, never forget. That's what I would say. I'd say never give up, never forget. And basically what that means is, never give up on yourself, never give up on the things that you love and care about, and never forget where you came from, because like everyone has a story, whether they're rich, whether they're poor, whether they're sick, whether they're healthy. Just don't forget where you came from. That's what matters, I think.
I love it.
I like that, man. That's a good one.
Thank you.
We're gonna have to include that. In
Never
the show
give
notes.
up, never forget.
Never give up, never forget. Man,
Yeah.
this has been kind of an inspiring episode. I feel like.
You definitely, like I said earlier, and I was getting a little choked up there. But yeah, man, inspiring. You're an inspiring person. I love what you're doing with your life. You're not holding anything back. You're genuinely yourself. You put yourself out there with like ambient sound poetry.
Yes.
You express your thoughts. You're not afraid to share your history, and there's a lot of strength to that, man. And
Thank you so much.
Much respect, man.
Yeah, honestly, anybody that's listening, once again, we're on this world for such a short amount of time. Just go for it. If it's not harmful or offensive to somebody else, just do it. Like literally, if you have something that you want to express, once again, I have a new album coming out here. It's going to be called Lower 48s, and it is going to probably come out summer 2020. I'm really excited. Lots of really, really good tracks on there. And this is more of my garage punk, indie rock and roll sound. Definitely different from the spoken word poetry stuff. But there is a song on that album. It's going to be called Missed Connections. And basically it's about Craigslist missed connections. I don't know if you guys have ever checked those out, but they're kind of funny. Like some of them are like, I saw you drinking a big gulp and I was so turned on. And yeah, just like
Awkward.
some really awkward and silly stuff. But like, people are sharing their true identity, how they truly feel. I know it's awkward, it's weird, it's goofy, it's crazy, but they have a platform where they can be this mysterious, anonymous person and have like the hope that maybe one day that person will see it. The point of it is that I think it's cool that people are expressing even the most weirdest shit in the world, like the weirdest shit in the world to the most coolest stuff in the world to the person subjectively. And I don't know. I think that as a musician, it is going to allow me to express what I'm doing and just other artworks. And I highly recommend whoever's listening, please do the same, because it's a great thing.
Awesome, man. Well, we're definitely looking forward to following the journey.
Thank you.
Enjoyed a great conversation with James Lane tonight. He enlightened us on some great topics. Definitely going to be checking out the EP, checking out the record this summer. We're going to have you back on the show.
Oh, it'd be my pleasure. That'd be so cool.
Maybe we'll come on your podcast.
Oh, that'd be dope as well. Yeah, we'll make it happen.
Absolutely. Well,
Hell
hell
yeah,
man.
Everybody, you're probably listening to this if you're on audio on Thursday. Video should be available by late Thursday, Friday. Let's crush the rest of the week. Let's keep owning it. Let's always remember. Let's never forget. Let's always stay on track with why we're doing things and believe and achieve it. We love y'all. We're gonna be back next week with Mike Patchen coming in for part 3. And man, great energy tonight. It was a lot of fun chatting, getting to know you, man.
It was such a pleasure.
Yeah,
Thank you
James.
guys for coming on. I really appreciate it. It was awesome.
Yeah, for sure, man. Thanks for being here. Another great episode of the books. That's episode 48. Be sure to check out James' music. Follow him over there on social media. We'll drop some stuff in the show notes, so we'll give you some tags to follow James. Be sure to head over to discussioncombustion.com. Sign up, guys. Be a member. Interact with us. Great things coming your way. Buy some merch over at teespring.com/DCPC. Follow us on all social medias. You guys are the best. We'll see you next week. That's a wrap on 48. James, take care, brother.
Thank you.